Mountains shall not be shaken, valleys shall not be tainted, rules shall not be violated, length shall not be made short, what's short shall not be extended, what's not shall be denied, what's against shall be prohibited, what's right shall be justified. Baduy is a small group of the ethnic Sundanese that lives in an area in the Kendeng Mountains in Lebak Regency of Banten Province, Indonesia. The entire region is administratively included in the Kenekas village. That is why the people of Baduy are also called the Kenekas people. There are many versions of where the Baduy people actually comes from. But the most popular knowledge about the people of Baduy is that they are descendants of the Pajajaran kingdom that secluded themselves in the Kendeng Mountains in central Banten during the 12th century. How the people from the Pajajaran kingdom seclude themselves to the place where the Baduy people lives now has already been written in a number of literature of our country's history. In other literature, different versions of Baduy's origin is also written. From the perspective of the Baduy's belief, they have strong belief their ancestors has already lived for thousands of years in the Kaulotan area from generation to generation. They believe that they are the descendants of Batara Cikal, one of the 7 Batara, or gods, that was sent to earth. That story are also often connected with the prophet Adam as the father of the human race. They believe that Prophet Adam descended here in the region. The Baduy people still maintain and protect the values, norms, and traditional customs of their ancestors. The Baduy ethnic is one of the isolated tribe in Indonesia. The Baduy intendedly seclude themselves. They live independently without expecting help from the outside world. They seclude themselves with the purpose to avoid cultural influence from outside Baduy. The Baduy people really conserve the environment they live in. They always protect and take good care of nature so that it could be well sustained. Therefore, earth provides them with abundant harvests that are sufficient for their daily needs. They never wish to cause any harm to nature. The Kenekas village is made up of rows of hills. That is why to walk from one village to another requires a great amount of energy and time. Especially if we visit the village during the rainy season, we need to be extra careful since the terrain becomes extremely slippery. In the midst of modernity and globalization, the values of the culture and local wisdom of the Baduy people gives great valuable lessons to us, the people who still live in modern cities. That is why it does not come to a surprise if tourists in large groups or traveling alone would visit Baduy. Tourists would visit Baduy to witness in person the wonderful nature here, or even learn more about the local wisdom of the Baduy people. Moreover, it is amazing how the Baduy people have the ability to preserve their culture and protect it from influence of outsiders. They strongly stand with the culture they preserve from generation to generation. The Baduy people are split into two. They are the inner Baduy and the outer Baduy. Both live in Kanekes village, but has slightly different cultural regulations.
Kalau Baduy itu awal yang membentuk Syekh Batakan itu membentukkan dua-dua waktu yang sebelum mengadakan pernabi zaman zaman Persangiang Perwali di sini hanya melakukan apa saja yang dilarang ke aturan hukum adat di Baduy itu ada hukum karma. Misalkan melakukan yang pelanggaran dari hukum adat itu di Baduy itu takutnya semuanya itu ada karma.
The Baduy is split into two groups, the inner Baduy and the outer Baduy. The basic difference from these groups is in the implementation of the Pikuku or cultural regulations in their daily life.
Perbedaannya hanya satu pakaian. Pakaiannya kalau Baduy dalam itu pakai hitam putih, hanya hitam putih. Terus harus tidak boleh melakukan kaput mesin, kaput kecos aja. Kedua, keluar kemana-mana tidak boleh naik kendaraan. Itu semuanya orang Baduy dalam. Kalau Baduy luar itu diperbolehkan naik kendaraan, tapi mempunyai tetap tidak boleh. Tadi yang ada dua versi. Itu waktu mengutuk awal itu kan dua-dua. Ada membentukkan siang malam, membentukkan bumi dan langit, membentukkan cewek dan cowok, mengadakan surga dan neraka. Itu ada dalam, ada luar. Itu waktu awal yang membentukkan itu hanya dua-dua.
The inner Baduy still holds on traditions and rules of their ancestors in their daily life. It's different from the outer Baduy. They are already slightly modernized with the culture of the outsiders. The outer Baduy people have already been influenced with modern culture from outsiders. For example, the use of electronic devices. Bathing and washing soaps are allowed for use by the elder or head of the group called Jaro. This is to simplify their daily activities. Besides that, the outer Baduy are also allowed to take in visitors from outside of Indonesia, such as international tourists and researchers. They are allowed to visit and even stay for nights in one of the homes of the outer Baduy people. Another difference between the two groups is seen from how they dress. the traditional clothing that the inner Baduy wears throughout their daily activities are dominated with white. Sometimes it's only a part of the pants that is colored black or dark blue. Meanwhile, the outer Baduy wear clothing that is dominated with the blue color. Although they split into two groups, the inner Baduy and outer Baduy, but the Baduy people well preserve the culture and traditional customs inherited by their ancestors. That is why there are still many issues prohibited in their life. The Baduy people has a traditional method of treatment when they are sick. They use what nature provides. One example is natural traditional remedies made from leaves and roots of various kinds of nutritious plants.
Di Baduy teh kudu patuh kana adat gitu. Kudu ngekeun adat lah ulah modern cara jari di kota gitu. Kudu kibai di kota Baduy. Nu lain kudu lainkeun, nu nya kudu nyakeun gitu. Ulah bohong, ulah goroh, ulah linyok gitu kudu patuh ka adat gitu. Titipan ti nini moyang baheula gitu. Zaman dulu, zaman baheula gitu nya. Ulah zaman dulu, zaman baheula sudah mah ya.
The simple life is their way to unite with nature. The pikuku that they hold on to is considered as their precious wealth that can never be changed. The traditional house of the Baduy people are built using river stones as the house's foundation. That is why the poles that supports the house does not have the same height. There are 3 rooms with different functions inside Baduy's traditional home. The front part of the house functions as a part used to welcome visitors and place for women to weave. Then the middle section of the house acts as the family room and bedroom. Meanwhile, the 3rd room, located at the back of the house, is used as a place to cook or kitchen and to store harvests such as paddy. All rooms are covered with walls made of woven bamboo. Meanwhile, the roof is made of fibers of palm trees or leaves of coconut trees. The house of the Baduy intendedly built facing each other and always faces the north or the south. The house is built either facing the 2 directions for the sole purpose so that the sunlight could enter the house, enabling it to illuminate the house's entire rooms inside. The Baduy economic system prioritizes a closed system, meaning the economic activities performed is only to fulfill the people's daily needs, and products are produced and consumed only in the Baduy circle. Their main source of income comes from farming and searching for honey in the forest. Their products are simply packed and sold to the city. It's not often that people in Jakarta, Bogor, and Tangerang would meet Baduy people selling honey and woven textiles. Meanwhile, Baduy women do their activities at home, such as weaving, and make crafts such as bags from tree roots. The Baduy women are obliged to have skill in weaving, as evident that they are ready for marriage by the single men of the Baduy tribe. The simple values that the people of Baduy holds, where materials are no longer of worth, becomes great example of how they live is to solely meet their primary needs alone. Even when farming, they always follow traditional rules of their ancestors. Among others, is not to use any chemical fertilizers. The main livelihood of the Baduy people are usually farming. The natural condition of the area that is so fertile and abundant makes it easy for the Baduy to produce their staple food and other natural products for their daily needs. The agricultural products such as coffee, paddy, and tubers are commodities that are usually grown by the Baduy people.
Ayo teh, banananya, pisangnya, yuk.
Is that the money they have is already enough to sustain their daily activities. This is the local wisdom that nowadays is somehow hard to find, since the people are focusing on wealth and that the money is king, that they need to search for and collect as much as possible to sustain their lives. The Baduy people believes that everything in this earth is created by the Creator. That is why human, as the one being created too, doesn't have the authority to destroy, such as cutting or even connecting anything in nature. This concept of life clearly strengthens the belief of Baduy people that they are born to protect the nature's stability.
The Baduy's life shows us another perspective about the relationship of the nature and the human. It taught us that we, human, should take a good care of the nature because the nature has already took a good care of you and me. Monica Conado, TVRI World.